Hello, my name is Kevin Sigafus, and I come to you today to bring a proposal that I feel is needed and worthy of your time. First, I want to thank you for allowing me to speak to you today and to bring to you what I feel is a worthy concern for our elderly citizens here at the Randolph Community Center and its residents. Recently, I was fortunate to visit your retirement community, and during my visit, I was present when a small group of your residents that live here and socialize together were speaking in a group. Their conversation migrated to many topics over the time I was present. But one topic in particular came up about the different avenues of media literacy. Most of the residents in the group talked about their kids and grandkids and what they were doing activity-wise, vacations and such. Many of them started opening their phones and showing pictures to each other. I'm sure you are aware and have witnessed this as well. But as this occurred, some of them started getting frustrated because they could not navigate to different apps or folders. I asked if I could help them and began showing them how to navigate as well as demonstrating some shortcuts to do different things. After several lessons of guidance, I began to realize that this group of elderly folks need to be educated more on how media literacy is very important to their lives. Over the next few days, I began to think and research how can I help these groups and the older generations to become more savvy and to have the understanding and skills to be able to be more productive, entertained, and just happy. I started researching this issue and found some interesting information. An annual AARP survey found that 64% of those adults over 50 do not feel that the technology today is designed with their age in mind. Are you aware that only 2/3 of those 50 plus feel comfortable with their own digital literacy skills? And their comfort diminishes as they get older. Let's look at what our older generations generally use for digital technology. It's really the same for most people of all ages, but older citizens have been used to the basic literacy genres from a young age. Literacy is the ability to read, write, speak, and listen so people can function in society. This is how people communicate, develop knowledge, and achieve their goals in life. Today, the basic literacy genres such as pen, paper, books, and merely speaking to one another are not as common or readily available as they once were. As generations have lived and aged, literacy has changed forms on how people absorb information and gather the essential and non-essential literacy information. The practices that people communicate are not the same as they were for our older generations, when electronics were not yet common or even invented. Nowadays, we watch videos, we listen to podcasts, we text one another as well as communicate through apps. Smartphone users send and receive text at a rate 5 times higher than making or receiving phone calls. As you know, we get a majority of our news from websites and social media platforms. Next, this leads me to how are our elders learning to use their digital devices and who is teaching them to use these devices? And why are they not using the devices? Statistically, the children and grandchildren of the elderly are the teachers who educate their older generations. The percentage of those who self-teach is slightly lower. As you can see, if they do not have the help from others, they typically make the choice to not even use it at all. Let's look at why digital literacy is good for the soul. Literacy is often considered a skill or competence and is often referred to as such. Children and adults alike can spend years developing the appropriate skills for encoding and decoding information. If literacy involves the skills of reading and writing, digital literacy requires the ability to extend those skills in order to effectively take advantage of the digital world. Lifelong learning is a key characteristic necessary for handling rapid changes in technology and information, and therefore critical to digital literacy. This was published by Kathy Green at Oklahoma State University. These are the 3 functional characteristics of a digitally competent person. Technical skills refer to the ability to work with technology like operating a computer. The cognitive skills focus on areas such as critical thinking and problem solving, as well as decision making. Social literacy skills relate to your ability to communicate in a digital environment. All of these combine on a conceptual level, but are also very independent of each other. My proposal is to bring an idea that will educate and expand the knowledge of the older generations to allow them to communicate better with others that may be younger, as well as to keep them from having the frustrations of not understanding what certain literacies can teach them. I want to educate the elderly population to be more media literacy savvy and provide a better way for them to indulge in the information world. CBS produced a segment in 2024 where Steve Hartman reported on a Florida high school group that did this with great success at a retirement home close to the school. Here are some of the pictures from that episode. A community engaged in learning approach, or CEL. This is what I would like to see happen here locally. The CEL approach brings together students and older adults to reduce the digital divide that is being experienced by our elderly senior citizens, both in socially meaningful environments as well as health-related environments. This idea can also benefit the younger generations in helping them build their own literacy skills by speaking in public and by leading a hands-on approach of teaching in a one-on-one setting to educate seniors on how to navigate digital literacy. This pedagogy brings together both the elderly and the young, as both can be described as a teacher or a student, thus creating a dual educational environment to bring knowledge to both groups. As I write this, I feel that there will be those who disagree and think that their parents and grandparents are great at literacy, and they can navigate just as good as the younger generations. But studies show that older adults are more susceptible to fake news and online scams because they are much less digitally literate than the younger generations. According to a recent study from the Department of Education, 54% of U.S. adults aged 16 to 74 years old lack literacy proficiency. I, too, think we can achieve great success here at your center, and I hope I have reached out and helped you realize that as we get older, we need to continue to learn and teach those around us that technology is going to continue to advance and grow. So should we. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.